Hi!
Hi! Welcome to Anglatinas. I'm Rosie.
And I'm Izzy, and we're best friends from the UK.
We've spent these last few years living and travelling in Latin America, being immersed in new cultures, falling in and out of love, and learning to balance the old with the new.
Join us on this journey as we explore life living between continents, living the dream, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
We are
Anglatinas. We hope you enjoy the rides.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. What was it, Izzy? Feliz Año Novo.
Feliz Ano Novo.
Everybody can now say Happy New Year in 3 languages.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's an educational experience.
Yeah. Entertaining and educational, the best kind of podcast. Yes, we're reconvening now. Actually, the first time we're chatting this year, isn't it? Is we've both had some time, some time off. Well, yeah, indeed.
We're not really friends off camera.
No, it's all a ruse. We hate each other. Actually, it's a chore scheduling this one in every week. No, it's the first time we've properly catched up. Izzy's been gallivanting around. Would you like to give the people a brief? What did I say?
Catched.
So.
Past tense of catch is caught. Okay, so went on a little road trip over Christmas and New Year's. I don't know if we've ever really talked about this, but I live in the south of Brazil on an island called Florianopolis. And I used to live in a place called Minas Gerais, which is a mountainous region. For those of you who don't know, Brazil is an enormous country. So we did it wasn't a little road trip in English. In English, what do you call it?
Terms.
It was a gigantic road trip.
How many hours from yours? I know you didn't do it all in one, but if you were to do it all in one.
About 20 without traffic. So we didn't do it all in one go. We went like stopping and went to visit friends, visit some new places, camping, staying in Airbnbs. So it was a really, really nice experience. It was very relaxing. And then we went, our final destination was where we used to live. So we went to see family and friends, spent New Year's with friends and family, and it was lovely.
Bloody lovely it was.
Lovely.
Bloody lovely.
It was lovely. And we got back last week, back to work, back to the routine, back to the grind. What about you, Rose?
Yeah. No, nothing half as exciting as that. Just at home, chilling, relaxing with family, sort of friends. But yeah, literally, I think this Christmas and New Year period was the least I've done, if that makes sense. Like the least I've partied, the least I've least plans that I've had. Literally just done Christmassy things, laying on the sofa and
I think that's nice.
Streets at like 10 a.m. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
nice. We're talking about this, like Christmas could be. Oh, don't like Meglin. Don't like Meglin hear this. Christmas could be like every other year, couldn't it? Because I think or like have a big Christmas, like a really one year, and then the next year be like more chilled, because it does come around so quickly, and it is nice to just kind of chill, isn't it?
Yeah, just over it this year. But not, I wasn't putting a negative energy on it. I just wasn't like going into it 100% a whole hog. But then again, maybe I've had that rest now, and next year or this year coming up will be a big
this year you'll be ready for Christmas in Brazil.
Yeah, totes. But yeah, I've been back at work for longer. And the transition wasn't that bad. I remember like having some years where I've been like, going back to work after the Christmas and New Year period, and it's literally like the most mind-numbingly or just awful, just a really awful like couple of days. And obviously I did have that too. Like I think the first day I was like, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? It's a weird like sinking, oh, that's it then. You get that like so underwhelmed by, oh well, Christmas, New Year, everything that you've all been leading up to for ages just wrapped up, done. Oh, that's it, we're back then, back to where we were a month ago. But no, it was actually just, it was probably just one day I felt like that.
Yeah.
How about you, Iz? Because you've actually been out and about. Was it hard to readjust?
No, I felt like I was it's the first year, I think, the first year since I've worked for myself that I've taken like an actual proper break.
Yeah.
I think like the year that you were here, I was kind of on holiday, but I was also like giving classes to like people who wanted them, and it was kind of like a stressful thing because I didn't really, it wasn't like, oh, I've planned to take a holiday because I want to and I can afford to, but it's like everyone's kind of on holiday, no one wants
Yeah.
classes. I don't really have money to not work,
To
but
turn them down if
there's
yeah.
no work, so it was like more of that kind of vibe. It's obviously still, there's still lots to do here in that context, but this year I like planned an intentional had two full
Respite.
weeks. Yeah, I had 2 full weeks off, and then the third week just a few people came back, and then this week, the beginning of this week, I went back with everything. So I was ready to come back. I felt like because I'd planned like that break, and we had a really exciting time, and it was a
Yeah.
mixture of like adventure with rest, and I felt like I was ready to come back, and I've like started some new projects in my work and stuff, so I was happy in it. I felt happy because we obviously came home at the same time, so it's like coming back to the routine and coming back to work at the same time. And me and Fernando were talking about this morning, actually, how just like grateful we feel to really
Mm.
enjoy our routine and like feel yeah, not feel that like heaviness of like, oh, work, but feel like,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously,
The place that you're going back to and the things that you're going back to are really comfortable and nice and welcoming and
yeah.
hard. And obviously you'd rather be on holiday eating and drinking and just lying by a pool, but the alternative is not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
really
definitely.
grateful to like have the job that I have where I can like mold my own routine as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are good. But
Yeah.
you were talking about this like, oh, like normally it's kind of like a drag and stuff, but one of the things that we're going to talk about today, like this whole new year, new me, I think that this whole vibe doesn't help with the return to real life. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. 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 Because most people think that this time of year is about making sacrifices and giving things up or stopping doing things that you like doing for some reason. For some reason.
Why?
Um
Yeah, like
something that
blow out over Christmas, and then January
yeah.
is
And
like,
then you can't eat an ounce of sugar after on the 1st of January. You can't have a sip of alcohol. You know, you can't have any enjoyment in January. You can't spend £1 in January.
yeah,
No, no, you can't.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's what most people do. Unless did we tell you what my grandma said? I'm sure she won't mind. She won't listen, so she won't mind me sharing this. Did we tell you?
Uh-uh.
My grandma's New Year's resolutions. They were such anti-New
Oh,
Year's
I
resolutions.
think you did tell me actually, but go on.
One of them, one of them was,
You
you're
did
not going
tell
to be
me
able to,
when you're at mum's that day.
yeah, probably. Oh no, one of them was a Christmas present. So she had this Christmas list. And at the top of the Christmas, so she had certain things on her Christmas list, and at the top of her Christmas list was something that she didn't want, like no body lotion required. It said no body lotion required. So that was grandma's anti-Christmas list. And then for New Year's resolutions, she was like, "Yeah, I think in the new year, I'm probably going to give up driving." Like, she was gonna, as opposed to taking something new up, starting something or continuing something like good, like a healthy habit or, something that gives her independence. She's like, yeah, I'm probably going to give up driving. Like in the new year, I'm just going to give up exercise. I love it. I love
I
it.
love that vibe.
Yeah. Of
Love it,
course,
Kath.
we should channel that. I mean, if you want to make a change, January is a good time to make it, whatever it may be. But yeah,
Yeah, but I also think that like it doesn't need to be the only time of the year when you can start new things. And I
No.
think this whole vibe of like new year, new me, it's like miraculously January 1st is going to arrive and like everything's going to
Yeah.
change. And it's obviously not, because even like you
much
said,
pressure.
like, yeah, it's too much pressure, and life is just, I mean, at the end of the day, time, it's just a social construct.
It is. It is. Yeah.
No, but like,
I,
you know, if you want to start a healthy habit and you're like in like start anytime. You know what I mean? Don't wait
yeah.
for the new year to go to the gym. That's an awful time to start going to the gym. No, like start
Yeah.
in December, start in April, start whenever you feel like you can start. But like January 1st ain't gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
disappoint yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's something that I've tried. I've got a list here actually on my notice board, and it's double-sided of things, goals for this year, resolutions or whatever. But I'm not doing it like, okay, so strict in terms of, okay, January 1st, you have to do this, this, and this. It's a gradual changes that I would like to see in the course of the next 12 months. Like that, isn't it? If you, okay, it's good, I think it's a good time to plan and think,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
these 12 months that have gone past, evaluate what was good, what was not good, what would you like to change, what would you like to keep doing, and then think, okay, for the year ahead, what would I like to do, what can I do right now, what would I like to do, have done in 3 months, what at the end of the year in 12 months time would I like to look back and say I did this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely that it's not a quick fix.
And I
Even
think
silly things like chocolate, right? Like, oh, I shouldn't be eating as much chocolate as I have done over Christmas. Well, probably in most British households right now, there's still
an excess of chocolate.
leftover Quality Street, leftover, like it's not
realistic.
It's not realistic to say I'm going to stop eating in sugary snacks. It's because you've
Yeah.
got a fuck ton in your house. So of course you're gonna, the temptation's there.
It's so
Shortbread.
it's so influenced by the seasons as well, isn't it? Even that's different here. And like we talked in the Christmas episode about like how here, because there's a longer break for most people over Christmas and New Year, like together with the summer holiday, it is like a good time to do New Year's resolutions, set your intentions, do like a plan for the year, because it's like a start to the year, a reset to the job, like and it's summer, so it's easier to have healthier habits in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for British
Yeah,
people,
definitely.
it's like I'm not gonna be
It's
eating
dark.
salad in the British winter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Holly
no.
cheese, bread and butter.
Yeah. Nice warm chicken soup or something. Yeah.
Mm.
Just thinking about that. What's yours leftovers? What's the Brazilian leftover equivalent to like weeks of finger food, cold turkey sandwiches, Quality Streets and celebrations? What's your Brazilian equivalent, if there is one?
I think it depends like where, because there's different like regions that make different kind of foods, but normally on like the Christmas dinner, and they have like another dinner on New Year's Eve as well. It really depends, but yeah, like
Yeah.
meat dishes, fish dishes. It's quite common to have like lentils, like a lentil salad on New Year's is good luck. But for me specifically, like because we went to Minas, you know, I was eating a lot of cheese,
Yeah.
drinking a lot of cachaça,
Okay.
pão de
Okay.
queijo,
Okay.
Coke,
Okay.
cornbread. No, for
anything flour,
just to give some context, Minas Gerais is like the state of Brazilian culinary. There's a lot of cheese. It's like a mountainous region, so they make a lot of cheese and milk and stuff, and doce de leite. And whenever we go there, to be honest, I give myself like a little pass, because we don't. Obviously, you can get those products here, but they're not the same.
Yeah. You'd be
Um,
missing out, mate, wouldn't you? You'd be missing out big time if you didn't.
yeah,
You would.
yeah. But yeah, I think
You would.
this last year I made this switch in terms of like, maybe it's just semantics, but like to make like New Year's intentions instead of like resolutions. So I feel like resolutions and goals are like really setting yourself up for disappointment sometimes. And I think in these kind of plans for each year, there needs to be like room for the fluidity of life, because at the end of the day, we never know what's going to happen. And I don't know whether this is like more specific to me, but I think my life in the past few years has like changed so drastically that I never could have kind of like planned for that. So obviously it's not just like, oh yeah, leave everything to chance. Like, no, obviously if you don't kind of make plans and intentions and try and plan for those things, then you just it's difficult to make things happen, isn't it? But like,
Yeah. What's
but
going on there?
if Fernando's washing the car and just activated.
Oh, bless him.
But yeah, I think there needs to be some room for the unexpected.
Wiggle room. Isn't that a lovely
And
term
also
that
bear in mind that you can change them. you can change them and adapt them like throughout the year. So I think sometimes like people make these like classic things, and it's like, no, evaluate what you actually can do and what you actually want to do. Like, be healthy, but what? Like, what are you gonna do? Is it realistic for you to go to the gym every day? I don't know. Is there maybe another activity that's like more pleasurable for you, that's going to be more realistic to maintain? Like, I think the whole New Year's thing has become a bit cliche, and I think it's nice to like do it, but like do it with intention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are over it though. Like, I've had conversations with friends and students, and a lot of people have said, like, as you just said, I don't do New Year's resolution. I think it is kind of maybe outdated, or maybe people are having similar thoughts to what you've just said, that it's like it shouldn't be worded or shouldn't be shaped in the same way that it has been. It's just not effective. It's just not efficient. Is it?
Having said that, though, to do it in some form, I do like, because I think it's nice to like have intentions for a year, but just be open and know that they can change, and like check back in with them all the time. I think that's the thing, actually, not just like write some stuff at the beginning of January and then kind of like never look at it again, and then when you get to the end of December it's like, oh, I didn't do any of my New Year's resolutions. Like, they can be, is it still making sense? Is this still what I want? And like I said, when there's really specific things that you want to do, like, it does help to make a goal, quote unquote goal, and like, what do you need to do to get there?
The
do you know what I mean?
steps.
Exactly.
Breaking it down into smaller steps. Yeah. I mean, what I've got here is my list, my double-sided list. And I've written the list, not because I'm like, oh, I need to constantly be reminded and I need to constantly see this, but more so that, like, at the end of the year, I can look back at this, and whether I've checked 2 of these off, or, you know, I'm quite aware I'm not going to do 12 things, or I'm not going to have achieved all of these things, but just so that I've just got like some kind of record, or some kind of, I can track a little bit, because that's what I felt about 2023, right? New Year's Eve, obviously everyone's like nostalgic, and everyone's going around the group like, oh, what's your highlight? What's your, you know, what have you achieved this year? But questions like that come up. And I remember sitting there and being like, I was obviously feeling quite down in the dumps on that day. And I was sat there literally thinking, highlight? I couldn't fucking give one. I couldn't give a highlight for my 2023, which is absolutely absurd. So the reason why I've done this is kind of so that I can look back and be like, oh shit, I did that, because I think we forget. Also, by the time it gets to December, you forget all of the things. I started a podcast in 2023. I lived in Mexico for 4 months in 2023. Like, what in a normal situation, or, you know, for majority of people, that's quite like astounding achievement. I don't know.
Of course it is, Rose. And for, I think that is like the thing of like the society that we live in now, and like the achievements and the capitalism and the like the grind is like you never stop and think about the positives. You always think about the negatives and about what you don't have. And I had the same thing, because around my birthday, this is another thing that I was going to say as well. For me, I think that my birthday is more symbolic in terms of like evaluating these things than New Year. for New Year, I think more about kind of like my work and those kind of things, and I do like personal intentions as well. But I think I evaluate this stuff a lot on my birthday, because it's like, you know, completed another year and you're going into new age and
Yeah,
what have you.
your trip around the sun, everything like that.
And in September, I was kind of like that as well. Like, oh, like I haven't really done anything that I set out to do this year, and blah blah blah. And that around that time, I started to be like, no, hang on, like I have done a lot. And in the following months that closed 2023, I was like, wow, this year has been amazing. I've done so much this year, and done in terms of not like, it doesn't necessarily need to be an achievement, you know, but experiences. And 2023 was a great year.
Yeah,
I think we tend to focus a lot on the negative side,
on the gaps,
on the not haves.
Yeah, what was the highlight of this year? Literally the end. I got through it. Yeah.
So, do you want to share with us some of your intentions for 2024?
Absolutely. It says at the top, it says goals 2024, but as I said, it's flexible. If I do 2 of these, I'll be great. I'll be happy. First one, get a job. Second one, move out.
On this podcast, by the way, Rosie does have a job that brings her an income. She pretends she's unemployed, but okay, get a more satisfying in-person job.
Okay. Be officially employed. Yeah, I think would maybe better terms. Move out. Start tennis or restart tennis.
Love it.
Go veggie. Now, in brackets, it says flexitarian. So along with the moving out, I want to be, well, I'm not going to be eating half as much meat as I am now. So that's something. But even that little bracket is right. It's quite nice, because it's like, I get a lot of people's veganuary, for example, you know, that would have been probably on a lot of people's lists of New Year's resolutions, but you don't punish yourself if at the weekend you want a kebab. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're cutting down, you're doing your bit. That's the vibe I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Join a football team, read more, watch more, shave my hair, cook and eat healthily, start playing PlayStation again, be more grateful, volunteer at Glastonbury.
Oh,
cute. And I know some of them are definitely going to happen. I mean, I could shave my head right now and tick one off. But yeah, others are more just like reminders to myself of little changes that I want to make, or the kind of lifestyle that I want to start forming for myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
What about you? Want to share anything that you've got going on?
Yeah, I do want to share. I'm just gonna fetch my book that I forgot to bring with me.
Okay,
so I'm just gonna stop the video a second so I don't flash everyone. Do some propaganda. Oh, that
We're gonna have to put it as an ad now. Does your video promote content? Yes, it does. Blackbird singing in the dead.
We could have just cut it out as well, couldn't we? But
we probably will.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So as I said, I was like in a really good place in this end of / beginning of the year. We went to some like really beautiful places, some really peaceful places. I mean, there's this like waterfall vibe, so it's just like, oh, so chilled. So I didn't actually write my things until like the beginning of this week, but I was thinking about these things like over this time. And one of the biggest plans that I have for this year is to like better structure my business. So to like work more intelligently. I've started opening some groups. I'm hoping to begin to like record and sell some courses as well. So put into practice like having an income that doesn't depend on my time in the moment.
Presence.
Yeah, my presence. And to structure myself better in that area, so to save more money. And there's lots of things little goals that I have to kind of get there, but the groups and the courses is the
Yeah.
main thing. For personal stuff, like you said, well, he didn't specifically say this, but I related to this. One of my intentions is to like get back to stuff that I really enjoyed as a child and like as a teenager, and like remember those things and make time for those things. So I want to return to dance. I want to start dancing again. I'm not sure at the moment whether that's going to be like in a class situation or just like make more time to dance at home, go
of an
out and
evening.
dance,
Yeah.
go, yeah. And so that's one of like my biggest personal ones, dancing. And
Wicked.
I already started this in towards the end of last year, but to read more and to have those as like non-negotiable times. So like connect with myself and connect with the
Yeah.
stuff that I've always enjoyed and remember those things. And
And carve time out of your weekly or daily routine. I'm doing this, so no, I can't do a class because
exactly,
I got dance class.
yeah. So
I'm going to
prioritize
salsa
myself.
dancing. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, and to remember to always be present. So this is basically like an intention that I have that's ongoing all the time, but like obviously I have more plans for work and things like that. So sometimes things are going to be more busy than others, but just to remember to always like have this intentionality in each day, and like wake up and have that little moment for me and breathe, and like always to check in with myself that everything's making sense. So like you say, it's very easy as well when you work for yourself to like go with the wave of, so like, can you do a class this time? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And then like before you know it, your day is just like jam packed and you've not got.
Yeah.
So to like be intentional with that, with my routine.
Yeah.
And the times that I offer, which is one of the things that I'm doing, like just offering specific blocks of the day.
Love that.
And then the main one is, so last year, one of my intentions was to like create and maintain an exercise routine, which I did for probably
As you
like the
can
first
see,
time in
she's
my life.
stacked, girl, stacked.
Probably for the first time in my life, like taking away from when I would like danced a lot as a child, that I actually established a routine and stuck to it the entire year. So like to create that discipline, and I go to workouts and yoga every single day, and I like maintain that the whole year. So that was step one. And this year I'm going to focus more on my diet, so not to do a diet but to have a more healthy diet in general.
How so, Izzy? Can I ask? Your diet's healthy AF.
I wanted
what are you going to cut out or add in?
Just to be very clear, I'm never going to be a person who's going to completely cut out anything, because I love to eat. So it's not like one of those obsessive things, but just to I like chocolate a lot. So to like be more intentional with the way that I eat sweet things. Not like sometimes when I'm stressed, I can like take that out on food. So to just try and have like a more healthy relationship with food. And
that's a good one, actually.
I have polycystic ovary syndrome. So I want to like do some more research and adjust my diet for some things that might be better for that, to like try and control some of the symptoms like naturally and potentially come off the pill. So that's my last one, really, like to establish that routine, to marry it with like the exercise, and to maintain that routine. But like I said, like I'm never going to be a person who's like gonna cut out pizza or chocolate or completely, but I just mean to like create a healthier relationship with that.
As we've said, that's in no means useful. No one's ever going to do that. You can't
and I don't
punish
want
yourself. Exactly but maybe just try and rework, or even appreciate it more. Like, do you do this? I do this all the time. I'll eat something that I want to eat, like some snack, some cake or some biscuits or something, and it's just kind of you're on like autopilot. I don't even really separate
Yeah,
how
and
much I'm enjoying it. I'm
this
just
is
like,
together with the routine as well, like to have time to like have a lunchtime or a dinner time or whatever, where you're not like also watching TV or like
yeah,
responding to messages or whatever, where you can like
yeah,
actually feel
mindful eating.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you actually, Izzy. Me and Abs have signed up, or we're going to sign up. We're in the process of signing up for a half marathon.
Oh no, you didn't tell me.
No, not mentioned it. Not mentioned it because it's absolutely ludicrous. um, yeah, so we're going to sign up for this half marathon, which is in May. But what I wanted to say was that starting something like that, but starting something new and fresh and fun in January is a nice way to
Mm-hmm.
like get healthier, you know, or like
Mm-hmm.
an alternative to just being like, okay, I need to like get fit and start doing exercise. I found that it's really helped to have like this target and
Mm-hmm.
actually something a bit different. Like I've always done running, but nothing kind of serious. Like I've printed off a couple of training plans and like looking at, do you know what I mean? Like it's something to kind of
Yeah.
really like sink your teeth into in terms of, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
numbers and shit. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like a fun way to include this healthy habit with a purpose, you know,
Yeah.
with an end goal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
wish me luck, everybody.
Good luck. I love it.
It's only 21 kilometers. Yeah,
But yeah,
that's another
love
one.
it.
It's actually not on my list, but that's another one.
Love that one.
You have to wait until you really want to as well. There's like a lot of things that we put upon ourselves that we actually don't want to do, but we put them on ourselves because we think that we should do them or that we
Yeah.
should want to do them. If you don't actually want to do it, what's the point? You've got to be really honest with yourself and be like, okay, I'm taking the group classes that you've started. You've always wanted to do it. It's been something that you've known you've wanted to do.
I didn't know
But
how I wanted to do it because I knew how I
yeah,
didn't want to do it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of other things that come into that, or like, okay, going veggie. I'm not going to go veggie until I really want and I'm really ready to go veggie. Otherwise, it's going to be a you know a hateful relationship with it, and that's not. I'm not going to run a half marathon until I want to run a half marathon.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to shave my head until one day I really want to shave my head.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're doing yourself more harm than good.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes doing things that maybe weren't actually your idea or your desire. And that's one of my other things that's written in the like personal section is like to always reconnect with my desires. So like check in with like, oh, is this what you still want? Does it still make sense? I said this already, but for that reason, because sometimes, you know, just doing something for the sake of it isn't the right path. But
You fill
yeah,
yourself with resentment rather than
yeah, and like you
resentment and
said, things
bitterness.
things are easier when they're pleasurable. So,
It's
you
not
know,
fun.
like
It's
I
not
wasn't gonna,
sustainable.
yeah, I wasn't not gonna say, like, oh, I'm gonna cut out cheese like when I was going to Minaja. Like, not, I'm not gonna cut out cheese now either, but like, you know,
Even less so then.
reduce cheese at that moment, like you say, like setting yourself up to failure, quitting chocolate when the house is full of chocolate. Like
Yeah. Reduce
panettone is a
cheese
thing.
consumption.
You asked
I
me
love
about
that.
things that are left over over Christmas here. Panettone is really common that
Is it?
people like get it as a gift from work and stuff, and most people like have a lot of panettone in the house after Christmas.
Have you got some?
I haven't, but because we weren't here, were we? But
Mm.
mum sent us a box of presents before we went away, and there was like a lot of terra chocolate orange, which
Yum.
unfortunately we had to eat so it
Because it
didn't
was going to
melt in the
melt.
car.
It would, yeah. Yeah.
Would have melted in the car, and obviously we weren't gonna leave it in the fridge for 3 weeks. Someone might have broken in and stolen it.
Terra
So
chocolate orange
unfortunately
is
had to eat it in
lovely.
2 days. But
God tier chocolate. God tier chocolate. The best bit is the core, don't you think? Like the core of the orange, that's the best bit. The segments are fine, but the
and now
middle
they do a
bit,
bar. This is new for me. She sent me a
they do
giant
minis.
dairy
You
milk
had the
bar with
minis?
it. She sent the minis as well. There's just like all of the
Good egg.
different forms of Terry's chocolate.
Love it. Absolutely
Chocolate
love it. They're not
orange.
as cheap as they used to be, though. I think it's like well, unless you get them on offer, it's £3.50, £4 for a Terry's
Really?
chocolate
They used to be
orange.
£1.
I know.
Times have
Honestly is.
changed.
Patches Britain, mate.
Well,
Patches Britain.
I'm just spoilt.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I love it.
I want to actually ask listeners, as
Mhm.
we've been talking about our goals, intentions, resolutions, whatever palabra, whatever word you want to put on it, please share with us your 2024 hopes, dreams, desires, whatever, anything. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, please share that in the comments or send us a message privately. Let us know what 2024 has in store.
I'd love to know. And also, in Kathleen spirit, anything that you want to leave behind in 2023. That's something that
Yeah.
I did this year. I wrote a little letter of
Okay.
things that I
Can you
wanted to
share
leave
it?
behind.
Can
No,
you share some of them?
I burnt it
Please.
at midnight.
Wow, that is so. What's the word? Like poetic.
Yeah.
That's literally something out of a film, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah. 2024 is looking banging.
It is.
Let's review in 12 months and see.
Yeah, and then we have this little record as well. So
time capsule. That's so cute. Okay, have you got any final things you want to ask or say?
I think that's it. Hope that everyone has a great year. Hope everyone's feeling nice and positive. But if you're not, then also,
that's okay.
there's 12 months ahead, and
yeah,
time is a social construct. So never forget that.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter when you start something new. It's never too late.
Exactly.
It's never too late. Be mine. It's never too late to change your mind. Kylie Minogue.
Oh, lovely. On that note,
What's she doing? Tune in for next episode to find out. Where is Kylie Minogue? No, I'm joking. Tune in next episode to get some sick travel gossip with Rose's twin, who is a guest, very special guest. That's
the specialist.
What's the phrase where you can say like it's been in the
long term
waiting, or like longer waited
special guest.
Longer awaited special guest.
The specialist.
The most important person who has ever been and will ever be on the podcast. Yeah,
she's got a bit of a bee in a bonnet about not having been on it yet, so we can't wait to have her. We wish you the very best, everybody. Happy New Year to one and all.
Happy New Year. You've been listening to
Anglatinos.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.